Good morning, all. And this morning's video is actually a combined video about my childhood autism trait number 5, which is being hypersensory to the smells and tastes and textures of food. And so I'll start with the freak out of this morning that I had, because it's still on my tongue and in my mouth, and I'm still freaking out. Even though I try to eat something else, try to take the taste away, it's still there. It's some kind of like hot sauce or pepper. And so this still affects me today. It's affected me throughout my life. And if you stay with me in this video, I'll show you from the first moments of my childhood that I had this autistic trait. Now, here's what happened this morning. My husband knows that I have this way oversensory, hypersensory to all types of foods and smells and odors and tastes, and is definitely very neurodivergent. It diverges from neurotypical people for sure. And so he knows, because I tell him all the time. He always says, do you want this and this, and do you want me to put this in this, when he's making food for me. And so we've had this conversation many times before, and I always tell him, don't mix two different kinds of food together or two different tastes together. Now, he's Italian, so this is definitely a cultural problem that we have in part, because you know how Italians eat. Well, I can't eat like that. And so this morning, he was in a hurry. And so I first saw him mixing up some kind of salady, saucy concoction in a frying pan. And he didn't actually cook it. So I believe it was probably some salady-like thing or some salady-like meat thing to make a sandwich to take with him to the barbershop. And then he's been complaining about the price of eggs. So he made me scrambled eggs with cheese on it. Only I get the bowl of the eggs and I take the first bite and it's like, oh my God! It's like, I'm ready to barf, I'm ready to puke. It's like, oh my God, I can't eat this. First of all, it wasn't cooked enough. So it's partly raw egg. I don't eat raw eggs. I do not eat raw eggs. They can't be like slimy and partially cooked. I won't eat that. I can't eat that. So I told him, I just looked at him, I took a taste of a little piece off the edge, and I can't eat this. So he put him, meanwhile, while he was making his lunch, and after putting my eggs in a dish, he had taken the frying pan, and I don't know what he did. He puts more stuff in his part of the eggs that was in the frying pan. Usually, it's Tabasco sauce, which causes another total freak out because I can't be anywhere around the smell of Tabasco sauce. It's really, really, really foul and overwhelming. So, but he sneaks it all the time. And so he put my eggs back in the frying pan. And then I don't think he was paying attention to the utensils he was like flipping my eggs with and stirring it with. And I get the eggs back, and I think that he had used his utensils on this other salady type concoction he was making. And then, I don't know what was in the bowl he served it in me before, but it tasted salady, which I don't do salad taste in the morning. Especially not with my eggs. I can't combine those tastes. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And then I have a meltdown. I have to go lie down. So I bite into the eggs and they taste really bad and foul. They made my mouth hot. So there was something hot in them. And I flipped them over and there's like kind of these grayish, darkish, kind of different particles matter in my eggs. I don't know what it was, but I don't eat eggs with particles of something else in it. I can't do that. So I started to eat it, and I said, don't ever mix two foods together. I can't eat that. And he said, oh, I washed the bowl, and there was nothing in the frying pan except eggs, and I ate eggs, but that's just not true. I am so hypersensitive to smells, tastes, and odors. If there was one pin drop of something besides eggs in the eggs or the cheese in the eggs, I could taste it. And it would overwhelm me, and I'd have a sensory overload and a meltdown. So that was this morning, and I took a couple bites, but I couldn't eat the eggs. I said, here, you can have this. I can't eat that. I can't eat that at all. I can't eat that. Okay, so I can't get this taste out of my mouth. It's still there, and it's stinging me. So I said, I'm really hungry, but I can't eat that. So my husband made me blackberry yogurt and hand mixed it, and it's all natural ingredients. And I do eat that because, but usually not in the morning. I eat that because I had to be on lots of antibiotics for all the dental infections that I had from the cow trampling, and I don't want bad gut bacteria. So he said, would you like me to make you your icy? Icy means, that's my autistic word for a blackberry yogurt. It's also my autistic word for getting a blueberry icy that's made with like ice and iced milk and blueberry in a mixer. But in this case, I said yes. The icy referred to the blackberry yogurt. And so here's the yogurt. Here's what I've been eating for my breakfast this morning. And here it is. Here's the yogurt. It's really good, but it's not taking this really bad hot sensation, burning sensation in my tongue and inside of my mouth away. So this morning I'm having a total meltdown and a total freak out. And I'm cutting into the middle of this video because I participated in some research at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. And so they did some helix testing, and then they reported back to me what some of my traits were, which was interesting to find out. But here's one of the things they found out about me. They said that each time we eat, our taste buds are bathed in the many molecules that make up our food. Sugars, fats, salts, and other compounds combine to form the flavors we sense. Some foods, like broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables, are loaded with bitter compounds that likely help deter animals from eating them. Some people can taste these compounds, while others can't. The reason for this difference can be found in our DNA. And so they further said, research suggests that people who can taste a bitter compound that's similar to those found in broccoli and other vegetables tend to have an inherited big G in their DNA sequence at a specific location known as RS713598. And that's right there. And then they go on to tell me that I inherited a large G from one of my biological parents, and that means that I am likely to taste the bitter compounds. And so there's actually a genetic basis I've inherited from one of my biological parents that kind of supports and underlies this extreme hypersensitivity I have to certain tastes. Well, I also have them to lots of tastes, and like I said, many smells and odors. So I just wanted to interject this little part of my authentic self and who and what I am into this video. And just to show how my husband was trying to apologize. And here's how my husband tried to apologize to me this morning. He asked me if I wanted a prune. I said, well, don't mix the prune in with my icy, my blackberry yogurt. I don't do the two mixed taste. So my husband brought the prune to me to set on the edge of my computer right here. And there it is, so that I'd have enough to eat this morning. So I do really appreciate that. Anyway, he's had a problem since COVID. He can't smell or taste anything. And so he forgets, or he's in a hurry, and he doesn't really think it's going to matter if he takes a spatula or a spoon out of what he's making to eat, which is mixed foods and hot stuff, or really foul stuff like garlic, and he mixes it, and then he sticks that spoon or spatula in the food he's making for me, and then it comes off the spoon or the spatula. Or if he tries to clean a dish, sometimes he can't really see that well, and if it's a plastic dish, it picks up the taste of the food he had in it before. He can't really detect that there's traces of these foul foods that I can't eat on the bowl or on the spoon or the spatula that he's using. And then we have one of these moments like we did this morning, and this is very autistic. This is a very autistic thing. So now I'm going to show how far back in my life this autistic trait has gone. This is me, and that's my mother. And as you can see, I am somewhere around under 6 months old, and my mother is trying to feed me, and you can see that she's very frustrated, and she's having a very difficult time. Why? Because I won't open my mouth and eat what she's feeding me, because I'm having a sensory overwhelm and overload to the taste and texture and odors of the food. Yes, I'm having a baby meltdown, sensory overloaded meltdown over the sensory overwhelm of the taste and the odors and the textures of my baby food. So, this is my childhood autism trait number 5. It goes way back in my life to the beginning. It's also, this is very autistic. This is a very autistic thing. I've been like this since the earliest moments of my life. And I've had a very few things I will eat throughout my life. I eat almost the same thing every day, or the same thing every day. And the same thing in the morning. In the mornings, I can't always eat what I eat in the mornings and in the evenings. I definitely can't eat lunch or dinner type stuff in the mornings. That I can't do that. And so this has existed way back. I have a very, very limited range of food that I can eat. And it's really amazing because no doctor in my life, until the doctor that diagnosed me as being autistic, Dr. Michael Hoffman, ever asked about my sensory diet and about my childhood traits. So whether I had restricted types of foods I eat, whether I could eat them mixed together, whether I have like hypersensitivity to smells and odors and all those things. And yes, I do. Probably to between 300 and 1,000 at least different types of taste, smells, and odors. And in fact, I've been known to run out of buildings when so much as a person breathes garlic breath on me. So, that's made one of the reasons that I can't get a job and get hired anywhere. And it's also one of the reasons I don't have a lot of friends, if any. And it's, and this is something neurotypicals have repeatedly during my life tried to force me to mask to fit in as neurotypical. And it's one of the things, there's no way I can mask it. Because when I get hit with one of these tastes or smells, especially some types of smells, like garlic or chlorine or basil or black beans cooking, there's a whole host of them. And when that happens, I have a complete, total, instant meltdown that's almost like an epileptic seizure in the speed it comes on. There's nothing I can do to stop it, and the only way this can be accommodated is for other people to change the environment that I'm in, that they subject me to. So this is another thing the Florida and California courts have never addressed. They have never addressed the inaccessibility of their courtrooms or even the smells of their food on their breath. So I had to make this video, and I know I'm not alone in this. If you're autistic and you find this relatable in any way, like when I get a plate of food, very often if I'm eating a couple different things, for example, peas will be on one side and then there has to be space in between it. And then say something like rice will be on the other side. Well, I don't very often eat white rice. So I basically the only kind of rice I eat is long grain and wild rice because that's all I can eat. And this is something I was born with. And this is something that if you want to talk about the authentic me, being authentic and authentically autistic, yes, this is me. I have a very restricted range of foods that I can eat. And I'm in no way a generalist. I'm in no way can adapt to eating any kind of food. And that's because I'm autistic. So I'd love to hear comments about other people who have these types of problems. And again, this is authentically autistic me and my late mom. And yeah, I've had this autism meeting the sensory criterion of the DSM since the earliest moments of my life. What about you? If you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when I post more videos. And thank you for watching.